Hello and welcome. This is News Now with Fidelia Aguncha. One Nigerian soldier has been killed in a gun battle with Boko Haram insurgents in Borno State. Army spokesperson Brigadier General Sani Usman says the soldier was killed when troops intercepted terrorists who attempted to invade Maibukati village along Maiduguri-Damboa Road. He says the army managed to repel the attack and also killed 4 of the terrorists. Usman also says the operation was carried out in conjunction with Nigerian Air Force, who are now in pursuit of the remaining terrorists. Well, hours after that operation, human rights group Amnesty International released a new report accusing the Nigerian government officials of involvement in the death of some citizens. In the report published on Monday, Amnesty International also accused security officials of slow reaction in the conflict between farmers and herders across the country. The report says military's slow reaction led to the death of at least 3,641 persons in the past 3 years. The army has now responded. Spokesperson Brigadier General Sani Usman says the report is a fabrication of fictitious allegations of alleged human rights abuses against the Nigerian security forces. Usman is also accusing the group of deviating from its core values, principles and objectives, and hinted that the group is determined to destabilize Nigeria. The army has also asked that Amnesty International office in the country be shut down. Well, Amnesty International officials in Nigeria have now responded to the army's accusation. Its chairman, Board of Trustees, Alwa Rafanjani, has dismissed suggestions of bias, insisting all figures were accurately reported. He also dismissed the army's threat to shut down its offices in the country.
Anybody who says that what Amnesty is doing is not okay, well, we have contributed our own by bringing, this issue before the government. It is not about, to dismiss this report. It is about, looking at what is it that we have not, the government has not done, well, so that they can be able to address these problems. It's not about really pleasing anybody. And the threat by the, army to close down the operation of Amnesty International, it will not even, work, because Amnesty International is, work is non-negotiable. It's about protecting the right, of every Nigerian, irrespective of where he or she come from, or his gender or geographical location or political affiliation. We are not politicians. We are not affiliated with any groups that, many of these Nigerian, characters are involved in. All we want, we want everybody's right protected, irrespective of your gender.
Most of the times, these crises are being motivated by criminals to perpetrate their criminal acts. Sometimes they cause the crisis in order to steal cows from the pastoralists, and sometimes they cause the crisis in order to loot from the community. So this is an important aspect of the crisis as well. The media is one, the criminality aspect is two. I am sure people all over the country are surprised. In the past 2 months now, the crisis have gone down. This goes to show you how the propaganda worked in fueling the crisis. Now that the propaganda is low, the crisis have gone down.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been celebrating his 76th birthday at a brief ceremony in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The event was held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, and Adeshewa Odushoga has the rest of the story.
The event begins with the colorful parade by the Presidential Guard Brigade, who held a march in tribute to the president. After the parade, the president is presented with a cake and 2 cards to mark the occasion. At the end of the occasion, the celebrant speaks on his achievements in office.
Well, I hope we will keep reminding Nigerians what we have done, how we made the country, what we are able to do from the time we came in to now with the resources available to us.
Some of the president's aides also spoke on the occasion.
Just a simple military parade and the cutting of the cake. because he's got work to do. He's just returned back to the office now to continue with the day's proceedings. We came out of an event, the migration dialogue, and straight into this. But it's such a joyous and a beautiful day to see him strong, healthy, hearty, considering the health challenges he went through in the last 2 years. And we cannot wish him any other thing but bountiful health, good health, strength and wisdom to take this country out of the present situation in which we find ourselves onto the trajectory of prosperity and growth.
The event was also graced by top security and government officials and also a few of President's associates. Adeshewa Odushoga, TV360, Nigeria.
Well, still in Abuja, a non-governmental organization has also been celebrating the president. The Good Governance Ambassadors of Nigeria, GOGAN, held a march in the Federal Capital Territory to celebrate the achievement of the president in his 3 years in power.
When every other world leaders are appreciating who we have, we need to wake up and appreciate him too. We need to celebrate him so that others join us to celebrate. We don't join other countries to celebrate our own president.
We are just celebrating our dear president, and we wish him many more years in good health. We are not campaigning today. I'm to say that campaign has done itself. We are not campaigning. People should know what President Muhammad Buhari has done. So, with his activities, we don't have to campaign so much, but we are celebrating. Even if people are sleeping, if you wake up, you know that President Muhammad Buhari has done a lot.
A man like Buhari, equity allows him to fight what he's doing today. So we're happy to celebrate him at this hour. 78, it's a small thing.
To political matters now. The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has received the support of the Igbo community in the state. He has also been given a chieftaincy title by the Igbo leaders who commended his leadership qualities. The APC candidate accepted the title and promised to run an all-inclusive government.
Today, my Igbo brothers and sisters, the entire leadership of Igbo community in Lagos State have given faith, rightly so, to the glory of God, to have bestowed on me this honor by giving me the which is the greatest gift from God. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you from the depth of my mind to say that we are starting another journey together. This Lagos, your Lagos, is our Lagos. Your Lagos is my Lagos. And God will continue to bless all of us. God will continue to take all of us to a greater level. The Igbo community will continue to rise up and up in Lagos. All my numerous essays will continue to flourish in Lagos. All our area community will continue to flourish in Lagos. This is the beginning of new era in Lagos. And your Lagos, my Lagos, will take all of us to a greater height. As we are celebrating this season of Christmas, it shall be well with all of us. It shall be well with all of us. The goodness of this land, we want to take it home. The blessing of this land, we want to take it home. It is not just politicking, but it is to go back to our people. It is a time in which all of you, all of us, will benefit so well from government. Your children will benefit. Your children's land, this is your home, and we all shall rejoice with it. It shall be well with all of us.
The National Assembly workers, under the auspices of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASSN, have commenced a 4-day warning strike, sealing off the complex. The workers are pressing for payment of their outstanding salary arrears, allowances, and other welfare packages. The striking workers sealed all other gates leading in and out of the complex, except the main gate, restricting access and chanting solidarity songs. The protesters also paralyzed electricity and water supply to the parliament and administrative buildings in the complex. The strike comes 2 days before the presentation of the 2019 appropriation bill by President Muhammadu Buhari to a joint session of the National Assembly. And amid that protest, the Senate has approved the names of nominees into the National Assembly Service Commission. Senate President Bukola Saraki announced the names of the 12 approved nominees on Monday. They are Joy Emodi from Anambra State, who is being proposed as the chairman, Nuhu Musa from Jigawa State, Bleliaminu Shinkafi from Kebbi State, Femi Age from Edo State, Uthman Taufik from Lagos State, Adenekon Olateru Olagbegi of Ondo State, and Abdulaziz Osman from Kwara State. Other nominees are Awalu Ohindesi from Kogi State, Henry Adagba from Ebonyi State, Rufus Omere from Imo State, and Biliamini Bubot of Bauchi State, as well as Ahmed Ashemi from Borno State. The spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Kola Ologbadiyan, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the Electoral Amendment Bill into law. Buhari has rejected the bill at least 4 times this year after it was forwarded to him by the National Assembly. He cited different reasons for his rejection, but Ologbadiyan believes the president must sign the bill to ensure a free and fair election.
You recall that at every attempt, Mr. President has struggled to put the 2019 election within a mire of controversy. For instance, the proposed budget for the election, which INEC brought forth, Mr. President did not present it to the National Assembly until they were going on break. And even when he presented the budget, he had to say that the National Assembly members should seek the funding from their constituency project. And we raised the flags and we said that this is a needless controversy. They've gone beyond that. Now, even the amendment bill, this is the 4th time that Mr. President is rejecting the bill. And sometimes the reasons are very funny. Secretarial reasons, placements of paragraphs, and what have you. And in this latest refusal to assent the bill, he's saying that it will create confusion, but it's close to the election. The election that brought Mr. President into office, 2 days before, 48 hours, 2 days before the election, amendment was done to the Electoral Act. So where is the confusion? Where's the confusion? So all we are saying is that this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is not prepared for a credible poll.
President Muhammadu Buhari is again warning against using social media to spread hate speeches. The president gave the latest warning at a meeting with youth group in Abuja. He advised sponsors of social media platforms in the country to take adequate measures to deny perpetrators of hatred and division space to do so.
We are seeing rising instances where social media platforms are being used to propagate hatred between religious, political, and tribal groups. These spiteful messages that incite violence and are posted by a handful of unpatriotic people anonymously. Sponsors of these platforms must take adequate measures to deny purveyors of hatred and the division space. It is only through continuous dialogue and engagement that these menaces can be stopped. The approach you are taking on community and youth development is, in my view, the right one. The fact that you are crossing religious, political, and ethnic boundaries in your engagement is praiseworthy. Now we are in the season of political campaigning. Unfortunately, some people will attempt to take this opportunity to propagate their hateful agenda. Therefore, it is our collective.
Our news now will continue in just a moment. Stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Well, let's now join Annette Felix for the latest in business. Hello, Annette.
Hello, Fidelia.
So, sometime late last month, there were speculations that there was going to be a merger between Diamond and Access Bank, but both banks came out to deny, to debunk that report. But now there seems to be more news on this. Tell us more.
Well, that's true, Fidelia. The management of Diamond Bank has eventually announced that it has merged with Access Bank. The bank's secretary and legal advisor, Uzoma Uja, says the proposed merger will involve Access Bank acquiring the entire issued capital share of Diamond Bank in exchange for a combination of cash and shares in Access Bank via a scheme of merger. She also says the board has selected Access Bank as a preferred bidder with respect to a potential merger of the two banks that will create Nigeria's and Africa's largest retail bank by customers. Uja says the transaction will be completed by the first half of 2019. And an Italian judge has affirmed that all giants, Eni and Royal Dutch Shell, knew that their 2011 purchase of the controversial Malibu oil field will result in corrupt payments to Nigerian officials. The judge, Gusi Barbara, also berated Nigerian politicians and officials involved in the controversial deal. The Malian judge made the comment in handing down her reasons for the September conviction of Nigerian Emeka Obi and Italian Gianluca Di Nardo, both middlemen in the OPL 245 deal for corruption. Obi and Di Nardo stood as middlemen in connecting the parties and the transfer of the funds through international bank accounts. The Malibu deal, struck in 2011 under former President Goodluck Jonathan, saw the Nigerian government act as a negotiator in the sale of OPL 245 oil block in offshore Nigerian waters. Two international oil and gas giants, Royal Dutch Shell and Italian Agip Eni, paid out about $1.1 billion to Daniel Tete, a former Nigerian petroleum minister who had previously been convicted of money laundering in France. Let's now take a look at the trading activity in the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, right after this. Now, with just a handful of sessions left in 2018, Nigerian stocks traded lower today as the all-share index was off by about 0.21%, while the market capitalization closed at 11.180 trillion naira. Now, let's take a look at our top losers, and we see that Forte Oil, which was listed as the worst percentage laggard for the year 2017, and it seems to have its status unwavering and maybe even getting even worse, as it records a steady decline in the value of its share price over the past few trading sessions. Today, its stock slipped to as far as minus 9.93%, starting at 21.7 naira per share. We see that Chemical and Allied Products PLC also closed lower, selling at 34.85 naira per share, and that's with a minus 6.44% decline in their share price. Guarantee Trust Bank and Unilever are also on the top losers chart today. Taking a look at our top gainers, we see that the industrial goods sector, led by, of course, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, is the leading equity on the stock market today. And this is selling at 17.15 naira per share. And that's a 9.24% increase from their last close, as we see here at 15.7 naira. Access Bank, Innsbruck, and Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC are following on that list. And for our top traders, we have Diamond Bank of Nigeria PLC, AXA Manted, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, and Access Bank. And Diamond Bank PLC is a top trader today, and this is coming as the company announced a new merger with Access Bank. Taking a look now at global stock, we see that FTSE actually declined by 1.10%, and that's wrapping up at 6,769.76 basis points. In America, the benchmark Dow Jones Index closed lower at 0.66%, while stocks in Japan have closed with solid gains, recovering from a 2.02% decline on Friday. That's increasing by 0.62%. Now, one question remains: will the NSE and the global stocks close this year in the reds? That's it from here, Fidelia.
Wow, thank you, Annette, for that brilliant stock report. It seems the merger between Diamond and Access, investors are accepting it because they are both gaining today, and that's impressive. But we wait to see how it goes as time progresses. Thank you once again, Annette. We will now shift our focus to the foreign and sports scene after this break. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make I no buy them. Make I show you something. What? What's in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical what they put on for the plantain make I ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Water. You know, say Pela, I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink them.
Where you collect that water, drink them.
I just stop finish. See my belly. It don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wake can drink them now. At the sell and plantain, I go come put on for chemical because I want to make a ripe co. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take them.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. At least 62 militants were killed by U.S. airstrikes in Somalia this month. The U.S. Africa Command says the strikes, which targeted alshabaab militants, were conducted near Gandashi in Somalia. The U.S. Africa Command also says a strike on Saturday killed 34 militants and a strike on Sunday killed 28 others. It added that the airstrikes were conducted in coordination with the federal government of Somalia to prevent terrorists from using remote areas as a safe haven to plot, direct, inspire, and recruit for future attacks. The U.S. military assessed that the airstrikes did not injure or kill any civilians. Somalia authorities say a former al-Shabaab spokesperson has been disqualified from contesting in this week's regional elections. Mukhtar Robo was arrested last Thursday in the town of Baidoa and is accused by Somalia's federal government of illegally bringing in weapons and militants into the country. The former Islamist militant had cleared all but the final required stage, which was a proposal to pitch his candidacy to the State Assembly on Sunday. To sports now, defending champions Real Madrid must overcome Dutch side Ajax as UEFA confirms the round of 16 matches of the Champions League. English clubs Manchester United are drawn with Paris Saint-Germain, while Liverpool will face Bayern Munich. London-based side Tottenham will take on Borussia Dortmund, while English champions Manchester City will do battle against Bundesliga side Schalke, meaning 3 of the 4 English teams will face German oppositions. La Liga giant Barcelona will take on Lyon, and Serie A side Roma will face FC Porto. The first leg of the last 16 ties will be split over 2 midweek dates on February 12-13 and 19-20, with the second legs played over March 5 and 6 and 12 and 13 as well. In the Europa League, Chelsea will face Swedish side Malmo in the last 32 of the league, while Arsenal have been paired with Belarusian outfit Bate Borisov. Scottish champion Celtic will take in a tricky test against La Liga heavyweight Valencia, and other notable ties include Lazio locking horns with Sevilla and Galatasaray taking on Benfica. Well, and that's it on News Now. Thank you so much for being a part of it, but do log on to our website at TV360Nigeria.com for more news updates and more interesting programs. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.